Welcome back to Classical Finance. Today we're going to look at running totals. We have two data sets to look at and three ways of calculating the running total. So the first is a simple example where we have just the month and sales, and the second is a more complex example where we have month, country, and sales, and we'll use a pivot table to look at that one. So to dive into the first example, we need to create a running total for our sales data. So the first month, we have $145 in sales, and the running total for that month is also $145. So we just put equals B2, and that gives us the running total. In our second cell now, in C3, we need to add the previous month's value to the existing month's value to get the running total. And then this creates a formula we can just drag. So we can check some of these running totals by highlighting all of the values before it. So if we look at the March total, we do C3 plus B4, and that gives us 1980. And we can highlight all of these values, and that gives us 1982. So we know it's correct. The second way of doing this is with a sum function. So equals sum, and then we want a range. So we want, for the first one, B2 to B2, because there's only one value we need to add. And then for the next few values, we're going to need to start at B2, but then go to the existing month's value. So we need to add an absolute sign here. That means it'll stay fixed as we drag. And then for the second example, we see that it calculates the range from B2 to B3. The third is B2 to B4, and so on. And then we can check that this is correct at the end by doing a sum and then highlighting all of the values, and we get 6479, 6479. So we know that's correct. So the second example is slightly more complex. We have data with month, country, and sales. And so it won't be as simple as just adding them together in the same way we did before. But luckily there is pivot tables which make this super easy. So we hit Control A on Windows or Command A on Mac. That will highlight all of the data. And then we go to Insert on the ribbon and Pivot Table. We then just check that highlighted all of our data to 106, 106. So now we have our pivot table. And we want to add month to rows. And then we want sales in our values column. So automatically that calculates the sum of the sales. But what we want is the running total. So we right click and then we go to Summarize Values By, then More Options, and then the Show Data As tab, and then Running Total In. Month, and then OK. And then we get the running total by month. And we actually need to rename this column to running total of sales. And then if we want the breakdown by country too, we just drag that down. So now we have the running total of sales in Australia, for example. And if we want it the other way around, where we want to know which countries we made sales in a given month, we can see that too. I hope this helped, and those two examples do cover a lot of cases, but if there are some that still aren't clear from these two examples, let me know in the comments below and I'll make another video.